Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Here for some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. It's been a whole week ever since this game was confirmed, and it's still crazy to say that. I can't believe this is happening. Today, we're going to be going over small updates. We are over here on the Steam database page. Do keep in mind, nothing too major, but more specifically, I want to go over the tags for the game. Because if we go over to the Xenoverse 3 Bandai Namco website, scroll all the way down, it does say the genre, action/adventure. However, going back to the Steam data page, we're going to be getting a little bit more categories, right? Just to kind of decipher what this game is going to be. Obviously, something similar to Xenoverse 2, but it's always interesting to go over this stuff. You don't have to watch this video if you don't want to, but for the people who are interested, we have the entire timeline or history of the Xenoverse 3 updates that's been going on. If we go all the way down, you have to sign in to view the older history. But just a fun fact over here, shout out to Dragon Ball Game News and Zaid for sharing. The very first update, according to the Steam database, was back in December 22nd of 2021. That's when they first started to update their game with Steam. Obviously, the game was in development beforehand, according to the producer, 6 or 7 years, right? And if we do the math, that's around 2019, 2020. So going back to Steam, we go up, nothing crazy is happening. They've just been changing the number, whatever that means. But 7 days ago, when they first announced Xenoverse 3 over at Battle Hour 2026, they started to add more of the basic information, such as the name of the game, the type, genre, languages, the localized locations, images with that outstanding Xenoverse 3 logo. Love the gold and silver color theme they decided to go with. We even have the gameplay screenshots that we already went over. They're more further up from the recent Steam database updates, but this part right here is what I mainly want to go over the most, the additional tags. With that Xenoverse 3 announcements, there's a ton of additional players that's going to be coming into the franchise for the very first time, which is epic to see, by the way. Players who haven't necessarily played Xenoverse 1 or Xenoverse 2, what could we possibly expect leading into Xenoverse 3? To be fair, I don't even know what to expect, besides like the basic stuff, because the game looks very different going off of that trailer, right? Different from Xenoverse 1, different than Xenoverse 2. So this is extremely exciting stuff, and the tags that we have here would just give us more of an insight of what Xenoverse 3 could possibly be. So the first one we're going to be starting off with is the anime tab. Nothing too fancy, pretty straightforward. It just says anime games feature visual styles, storytelling, and character designs inspired by Japanese animation. These titles often showcase distinctive art with expressive characters, vibrant colors, and detailed environments drawn from anime and manga traditions. So if we go back to the trailer, we do see the in-game engine. Believe it or not, I've been seeing some people saying that the graphics don't really look that good. However, if you compare the Xenoverse 3 graphics to Xenoverse 2, night and day difference, I think this game looks great, and it's superior to Xenoverse 2 in every single way. I do digress. Going back to the actual topic, immediately, they're not using that dipped in oil look that they used for Xenoverse 2. It's extremely ugly. A lot of people don't necessarily like it. They're going more of that anime style with the cel-shaded graphics to it, right? That's something that they even mentioned after they revealed the trailer at Battle Hour 2026 with the producer. Now, the gameplay could very well look different from that teaser of the in-game engine that we got, because to me, this feels more like an in-game cutscene instead of an actual gameplay, but it's still very vibrant, colorful. It has a lot of the Xenoverse features or assets. When I first looked at Brett, I immediately could tell that the nose, eyes, and chin were all the same. That's Xenoverse, man, before we even got the confirmation from the logo, right? The detailed environments, that fits in with the West City. They already confirmed. Again, didn't necessarily get to see too much, but it's just the start of Xenoverse 3, so we have to be a bit more patient. They also says the genre spans a wide range of gameplay styles, including action, adventure, visual novels, RPGs and simulation. This, of course, is just going to be a description of what an anime game could be. It's not to say that we're going to be getting all these gameplay styles in Xenoverse 3. However, some have been confirmed, like action adventure. So going over to this tag description, the action adventure tag on Steam database lists games that combine elements of action and adventure genres. These games typically feature a protagonist who explores a new or mysterious environment. West City, also known as Age 1000, interacts with non-playable characters and engages in physically challenging activities such as combat, puzzle solving, or platforming. Now, going to the interacts with non-playable characters, that's all you do in Xenoverse 2 pretty much. When you roam around Kanton City, we have the robots that we talked to that, help us do the 2v2s, 3v3s, or just teleports throughout the Kanton City. Normal NPCs are just flying around, and if we go back to that Xenoverse 3 trailer, right off the bat, you can see 2 orange floaty waypoints. There's pretty much saying that we can interact with that time capsule or whatever it is and the desk. So it's going to be all of that plus more. Moving forward, the action elements may include real-time combat with enemies, quick reflexes, and timing-based challenges. 3D fighter, so you have to be quick, with what decisions you're about to do with the perfect guards, how to follow up. Just play Xenoverse 2 and then you'll get a good feel of the action that's involved in the actual game. The adventure aspects can involve exploration, storyline-driven progression, and narrative elements that immerse the player in a rich and engaging world. Going back to the Steam page description over here, they mentioned multiple times, Xenoverse 3 is a completely new Dragon Ball experience where you decide the hero you want to be in an unexplored Dragon Ball world. Again, Age 1000. So far, the Xenoverse 3 description falls aligned with the tags that we have here, which is evident. Why else would the tags be here if it's stuff that we're not going to be able to do in Xenoverse 3? What else does it say? Games tagged as action adventure on Steam database offer a diverse range of experiences from open world explorations to linear narrative driven adventures. Again, not to say that Xenoverse 3 will be a true proper open world experience. It could have some elements to that with just a small hub world and we get to explore whatever they provide for us. But I'll take what we can get. This is the sequel to Xenoverse 2, so whatever is in Xenoverse 2, at least this is how I'm thinking, it should be all that, but 10 times better, plus more things as well. So the third tag that we have is the action RPG, which I guess could be something similar to the action adventure, but the description over here says, this page showcases Steam games tagged under Action RPG. Action role-playing games are a subgenre of role-playing games where the emphasis is on real-time combat. These games allow players to control a character directly and execute actions in real time, while also featuring RPG elements such as character development, questing, and inventory management. So first of all, there's been a lot of commotion about CACs. Will we be able to create CACs in Xenoverse 3? Which to me, I find very silly just because this is the Xenoverse franchise. The whole point and foundation of the Xenoverse series is to create your character. You put yourself into the game if you decide to create yourself or just whoever. Players engage in battles against various enemies utilizing a combination of melee and ranged attacks. Ooh, yeah, you could be a Ki Blast based character or a close range based character. I know when you create your CAC at the start of the game, you have an option to pick, I like it up close and personal, or I like to stay a bit further away. Forget exactly what it said, but you know what I mean. You have the options. Now, since this is Xenoverse 3, we need additional CAC races, correct? And I think Namekians could have like this magic spiritual sort of energy. I always bring this up, but Dragon Ball Online, for example, which is another game heavily developed with Akira Toriyama with his aspirations. The Namekians have two different routes: the warrior type, which is something similar to Piccolo, or the spiritual type, something similar to Dende with magic, right? So that's just something I wanted to point out. Abilities to progress. Action RPGs on Steam offer diverse gameplay experiences ranging from dark fantasy and sci-fi settings to open worlds and narrative-driven adventures. So very promising stuff so far. 3D fighter. I mean, pretty straightforward. A lot of anime games are using the 3D fighting genre, correct? The Storm series. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. What other anime games out there? My Hero One's Justice or Oz Justice, right? It's very generic here in the anime gaming space, but I like it. I think it just suits the anime style worlds perfectly. The 2D fighters are epic. Just take a look at Dragon Ball FighterZ with Arc System Works. It sold 10+ million copies. Anyway, the 3D fighter genre represents games that involve combat in a three-dimensional environment. Players engage in intense battles against opponents using various weapons, special moves, and combos to emerge victorious. So we have all of that in the XENOVERSE series. These games often feature immersive graphics, complex control schemes, and a diverse range of game modes. Ooh, speaking of game modes, we have Parallel Quest, all from XENOVERSE 2. 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s. Crystal Raid missions where you become the raid boss and go up against 5 other characters. So 1v5 or 2v4. There's the story campaign. Am I missing something? Expert missions. There's just so much to do in XENOVERSE 2. It's crazy. And plus that one Hero Coliseum game that they implemented years after the release of the original game. So it's just going to be so expansive and diverse. I'm here for it. Moving forward, it says, including single-player campaigns, multiplayer battles, and cooperative play. The 3D fighter tag encompasses a wide range of titles from classic arcade-style brawlers to more intricate and strategic combat simulations. Whether you're an action aficionado or casual gamer, the 3D fighter tag offers something for everyone in the realm of 3D combat gaming on Steam. This is why XENOVERSE is so great, because you don't have to be an Evo status player to enjoy XENOVERSE, right? You can go online, go up against someone your level, or if you don't necessarily like online, as I just mentioned, you can play a plethora of other game modes. There's something to do in the XENOVERSE franchise for everybody. Fighters, for example, you have to be pretty dang good at the game, and the only thing you can do in that game is play online. And I know not everybody enjoys competitive play in the first place, or maybe you just don't have internet, right? XENOVERSE, you can access the game, the hub worlds, do your Parallel Quest missions offline, enjoy the campaign. This is why everybody enjoys it, and I feel like XENOVERSE 3 is going to be selling 4+ million copies frame one. Sparking Zero sold 3 million copies day one, so that was pretty dang impressive. Going back to the menu over here, adventure. Okay, so the next two tags, adventure and action, but we kind of already went over the action and adventure, so don't necessarily know what the differences are going to be, but let's just read this nonetheless. The adventure tag on Steam database lists games that offer immersive experiences, often with engaging stories and puzzles to solve. It's already similar to the other action adventure tag. Adventure games can range from narrative-driven experiences where players explore intricate worlds and interact with memorable characters to more action-oriented titles that incorporate elements of exploration and problem-solving. These games can transport players to new realms. Hey, new realms, I like that. Challenge their intellect and evoke strong emotions. Adventure games on Steam offer a diverse range of experiences that cater to various playstyles and interests. Quickly going over to the action tag. The action tag on Steam database lists games that fall under the genre of action. Action games typically involve quick reflexes, real-time decision-making, and dynamic environments. Players are often placed in intense situations where they must navigate through complex scenarios, engaging in combat or solving puzzles to progress. These games may include first-person shooters, fighting games, platforms, and more. The action tag is popular choice for gamers seeking adrenaline-pumping experiences, fast-paced gameplay, and immersive storylines. So it's just a combination of action and adventure, quite literally. The next on the list is going to be RPG. The RPG tag on Steam database is used to identify and categorize games that fall under the role-playing genre. Role-playing games are RPGs for short, offer immersive experiences where players assume the roles of characters in fictional worlds. So, the XENOVERSE series, right? It is something similar to Dragon Ball Online. Not something similar, but it was inspired by Online. It took some elements from the game because Dragon Ball Online was more of a proper open world MMORPG, while XENOVERSE is more of a 3D fighter with the elements of the MMORPG, where you get to create your character, where you get to level up, put specific points in the different settings or attributes. And of course, there's the whole race thing to it, where you get to pick either Namekian, Frieza, Earthlings, Majins, and Saiyans. They all have their own different stats. So you can do some strategic decisions going into online battles, whichever fits your specific play style. These games often feature complex narratives with intricate storylines, character developments, and open-ended exploration. Players can interact with non-playable characters, make decisions that influence the outcome of the game, and engage in combat or strategic battles, as I just mentioned. RPGs come in various subgenres, including action RPGs, fantasy RPGs, sci-fi RPGs, and tabletop RPGs. With the automatic Steam database page dedicating to this tag, users can easily discover, explore, and filter games based on their preferences within the expansive RPG category. Dude, XENOVERSE is just going to have all of it. Literally all of it. So that was it 7 days ago, and then they kept doing the smaller updates, more of the logos, the enlarger version of the logos, added library assets, whatever that means. Here we have the logo without the backgrounds. So quickly open this in a separate tab, and then boom, if you need this for a thumbnail, any other content creators out there, you know where to find it. They added primary genre, which is going to be the action. So there's like the primary genre of the game, which is what I mentioned before, action and adventure, while the other subcategories will be in play that we just went over. And then we have the update where they added the clear HD gameplay screenshots without the blur. I think they added additional tags 6 days ago. Oh yeah, right here. I think I missed some. So this is going to be the category of the game, not necessarily the tags. It says family sharing and single player. Can't necessarily click on those, so the description, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? But these are the additional ones. It's strange how they didn't add the multiplayer and character customization the same day as all the other tags from the update 7 days ago. It's all the same, doesn't necessarily matter. So character customization, quickly click on that, go over here. As I mentioned before, for some reason there's like this debate going on. Is there going to be CACs in XENOVERSE 3? We don't know. We do know there will be CACs in XENOVERSE 3. You get to create your customization, and this tag confirms it since it's part of the XENOVERSE 3 history files. And going over to the actual Steam page, the description, it specifically says XENOVERSE 3 delivers an action-adventure experience packed with intense battles and extensive character customization options, where you get to change the torso outfit, the pants, the shoes, the gloves, the accessories, the goggles, the weights you have on the back or whatever, the sword, if there is even swords, like with movesets. I don't even know why people were afraid or skeptical that there wouldn't be any CACs or customization options. Come on, bro. Anyway, the description, I mean, we basically already know what this means, but just want to go over it. Steam database showcases a collection of games tagged as character customization. Steam users can explore and discover various titles that allow them to create unique avatars and customize their in-game characters to their liking. So you get to either put yourself in the game, you get to create any other character from different anime, or whatever it may be. The tag encompasses games with extensive, even says right here, extensive character creation tools, allowing players to personalize their gaming experience by adjusting attributes such as appearances, abilities, or even backstory. These customizations can range from simple cosmetic changes to intricate systems that impact gameplay mechanics. So this is not going to be, at least I don't think, a simple cosmetic change. Heck no. I'm expecting it to be a lot superior to Xenoverse 2 with that intricate system that could impact gameplay mechanics. Something I just spoke about recently with the CACs. Not only that you get to amplify your attributes, stats, health, ki, defense, strength, ki blast, strike, supers, but also the specific CAC races will be a bit different from all the others. So again, the Xenoverse 2 Majins, they have a better stamina consumption compared to humans. The humans, they excel with the strike-based stuff. The Saiyans, they excel with the ki-based stuff. Namekians with defense and the health. I expect all that and maybe even more here in Xenoverse 3 that could actually change the outcome of the gameplay, but at the same time you still have immense stats with level 200 or whatever. This page is updated automatically to reflect the most recent additions and updates related to the character customization tag. Multiplayer, if that wasn't evident already. Multiplayer games are titles where players can connect and compete or collaborate online with others in real time. The multiplayer feature enhances the gaming experience by introducing social interaction, teamwork, and competition among players. So, your choice. Want to play online? You can. Solo mode? You can. Now, we don't necessarily know what kind of game modes are going to be in Xenoverse 3, but teamwork, I'm sure, is going to be a thing, just because going back to the trailer, we see Brett training the Great Saiyaman 7, also known as John 1000, kind of doing this 2 versus 2 mission or 2 versus computer, whatever it is. Since we aren't time patrollers, it's been confirmed, according to the Steam page, we're Great Saiyan Squadron, right? We're part of that squad. So there probably won't be parallel quest missions where we fix time, but something similar to that. I'm sure the concept will still be the same, where you get to tag along with your buddies or want to go in solo mode. You know what I mean? But we're just not necessarily time patroller warriors. This page provides an overview of various multiplayer games available on Steam, allowing users to explore different genres, game modes, and communities. The list is updated automatically to reflect the latest additions and changes to Steam category. I think we have a few more. Co-op. That technically falls in line with the multiplayer a little bit. And the stuff I just mentioned, you get to tag team with your friends or just even other random online players. All right, if you want to make things a bit more difficult because you can't necessarily communicate with them, well, I'm sure they will have like the open mics, but if you don't have a mic, it's usually a bit more challenging because you can't communicate. So I always recommend doing the expert missions, parallel quest missions, the raid missions. I recommend going in with friends just because it's fun, and plus it just makes things a lot easier. Now, the co-op tag does say it signifies that these games offer cooperative multiplayer modes, allowing players to work together towards a common goal or complete objectives as a team. So the reason why co-op play is always fun in Xenoverse 2 was because they had the 2v2 online battles or the 3 versus 3 where you're going up against other actual players. And if you don't necessarily want to go up against other players, you can still do co-op with parallel quest missions where it's 2v2, 3v3 against computers, right? And then there's the other fun modes where it's a 1 or 5v1, 5 players up against one online raid boss player, co-op battles are the best, in my personal opinion. Now, hear me out. Wouldn't it be even cooler if Xenoverse 3 allows you to do co-op story missions, co-op campaign? Ooh, that was not a thing in Xenoverse 1 or Xenoverse 2. So please, Xenoverse 3, be slightly different. And if we want to take on the final boss, or even the first boss, or just do the complete boss rush where we do the campaign and defeat everybody with friends and players, that would be the best case scenario, man. Let's say if I'm just starting out as a level 1 and then someone else carries me, level 100, easy. Well, maybe they'll have things locked down, like maybe you can't team up with someone who completed the game already, but I just feel like having co-op story mode would be that cherry on top. Please, Dimps, incorporate that. Players can join each other's sessions and collaborate on challenges, often with unique roles or abilities granted to specific players. Ooh, that would be a fun one, where we have unique roles in Xenoverse 3. Don't necessarily know what the game mode could be. Yeah, comment that down below. What other game modes would you like to see in Xenoverse 3 that's not already in Xenoverse 2? I know this is a popular one, Capture the Dragon Ball, where you have to pick up the most Dragon Balls, or maybe there's only one Dragon Ball on the map and you fight for that. Or I guess where you have a team-based battle, but with more specific rules, like maybe you can be a healer, other one focuses on high damage, another character focuses on defense. MMORPG, we already went a little bit over that with the RPG tag, right? So this is the MMORPG. Massively multiplayer online role-playing game. This is, again, what Dragon Ball Online was, right? So maybe Xenoverse 3 is going to cater more to the MMORPG side of thing. Oh, man. That will be the best case scenario in my personal opinion. I've mentioned this before, actually. Maybe Xenoverse 3 could be following the footsteps of Dragon Ball Online, because it's already different and it's already sharing some signs that shares elements from online. Even though, as I said before, Xenoverse already did all that with the characters. Towa, Mira, Time Patrol Trunks, Supreme Cat of Time, I believe. Few, right? They're all from online. Well, created for that game. And then Xenoverse took all of that, elements. But notice how we're not necessarily Time Patrollers in Xenoverse 3. Again, we're the Great Saiyan Squadronmen, and we're not necessarily on a hub world where we fix time. We're just in normal West City. We're calling it New West City, also in Age 1000s, which is, again, something similar to Dragon Ball Online. The genre of video games where a large number of players interact with each other in a virtual world, often featuring immersive storylines, character progression, and social dynamics. Players can form guilds or clans, engage in cooperative or competitive gameplay, and explore vast open worlds together. Just to reiterate, doesn't necessarily mean Xenoverse 3 will have all of this stuff. It's just the normal MMORPG description. The game listed on this page are tagged as MMORPGs, ensuring a consistent experience for those seeking out this genre. The page, or this page, is updated automatically. Okay, so yeah, I like that. The immersive storylines, character progression, social dynamics, players can form guilds and clans. So we just need more concrete confirmation if all this will be in Xenoverse 3. But so far, we do have that MMORPG tag for the game, which is a good sign in my personal opinion. Going forward, just small change number updates 5 days ago, 4 days ago, 3 days ago. And if I haven't mentioned already, they just updated this today, an hour ago. Alright, so perfect timing to create this video. Again, it's just a small change with the numbers. There could be future updates. I mean, stay tuned to the channel. Y'all already know whenever they do any types of updates, like the Steam page or any official updates from Bandai, I'll let you guys know frame one. So stay tuned to the channel, turn on post notifications, subscribe, if you're new around here. That'll greatly help. And yeah, just wanted to go over the Steam data page. Just additional tags that doesn't necessarily show on the official website. It's always a great time for me whenever I get the chance to talk about Xenoverse 3. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace!